Very good morning, students. We are doing our poem Christabel by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This is the 12th lecture of this poem, and in this, we will be covering from lines 267 to 290. This is the last lecture of this particular poem, and after this, there will be a 13th lecture also. In that, we will be covering a small portion which is summary of क्रिस्टबल पार्ट फर्स्ट. सिर्फ पार्ट फर्स्ट जो है वही हमारे पोएम हमारे सिलेबस का हिस्सा है, एंड उसकी समरी जो है पोइट के द्वारा रचित है. दैट ऑल्सो विल बी कंसिडर्ड ऑब्वियसली द पार्ट ऑफ दिस पोएम. तो हमको सिर्फ यही करना है. आफ्टर दैट देयर इज़ अ पार्ट 2 ऑल्सो ऑफ दिस पोएम, बट दैट इज़ नॉट इन आवर सिलेबस, सो वी डोंट हैव टू कवर दैट. Okay, now in this particular video of this poem, the background, if I tell you, that Christabel has taken Geraldine to her room, to her bedroom, and now Christabel got so many signals of Geraldine's evil spiritedness, but she thoroughly dismisses all those signals, and she believes on what Geraldine has cooked up the story and told her that she was kidnapped by 5 persons, and they threw her in the forest and then they went away. So Christabel takes pity on her, and then she takes Geraldine along with her to her castle, and then finally to her bedroom. Now the problem is that Geraldine is in reality a bad spirited person. She is not a good human being. She is what? A bad evil spirit. वो एक बुरी आत्मा है. ठीक है, तो ये क्योंकि सुपरनैचुरल पोइट्री है, सुपरनैचुरल कविता है, तो इसमें ghosts and all these things, negative spirits and all these things are incorporated. तो जेरेल्डाइन जो है वो एक बुरी आत्मा है. क्रिस्टाबेल उसको फाइनली अपने बेडरूम तक ले आती है. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट जेरेल्डाइन वांट्स टू टेक कंट्रोल ओवर क्रिस्टाबेल. जैसे कि क्रिश्चियन माइथोलॉजी जो है उसमें ये माना जाता है दैट द इविल स्पिरिट्स दे वांट टू टेक कंट्रोल, और दे want to have control over the soul of the good person. कि वो जो अच्छे लोग होते हैं या जो ह्यूमंस होते हैं उनकी आत्मा के ऊपर वो अपना कंट्रोल पाना चाहते हैं, तो इसकी वो तलाश में रहते हैं. ठीक है, तो here Geraldine wants to have control over Christabel. So both of the ladies are now in the bedroom of Christabel. Geraldine tells Christabel that you please undress yourself as I have to pray, and I'll pray for your well-being also. So Christabel agrees to her and they both get undressed. Now when Geraldine was getting undressed, Christabel, she is not able to sleep. She's laying in her bed. Christabel is laying in her bed, but she is not able to sleep properly, and her eyes are moving around here and there. And then she rises up to see Geraldine. Then Geraldine was getting undressed. She was undressing herself, and Christabel sees her. And on looking to that thing, Christabel becomes speechless, and it was a sight which can only a person dream of in their dreams, can only imagine of in their dreams, but not face it actually. It was such a spectacular sight. Now the poet tells that or he requests God to please save Christabel, to please save the spirit of the soul of Christabel from this evil spirited Geraldine. Now the poet says, yet Geraldine not speaks nor stirs. Ah, what a stricken look was hers. Christabel, as the scene is there, that Geraldine was undressing herself and Christabel was looking at her, and this proper sight of Geraldine undressing herself was very spectacular, and it can only be imagined. ऐसा सिर्फ एक कल्पना ही की जा सकती है. तो बट इवन ऑन हर लुकिंग so curiously, Geraldine do not say or speak a single word. She keeps mum. Geraldine is totally silent and she is just undressing herself, and she appears without any dress in front of Christabel, and she do not speak anything or nor do any activity. Not stir means she do not do any activity, do not respond to the curious sight of Christabel. Ah, what a stricken look was hers. Means stricken means focused. Christabel became so curious, so spectacular over this thing, that she was looking so focused on her. Deep from within, she seems halfway to lift some weight with sick essay. Here, the poet expresses the confusion of Geraldine, that in her heart also, deep from within, means in her heart or in her mind, she seems halfway. Halfway means with half-heartedness, without any full interest. She was not fully interested in doing what she was going to do, but she was doing with half interest. This lady Geraldine, to lift some weight with sick essay. Essay means attempt. To lift some weight with sick attempt, and eyes the maid and seeks delay. And eyes the maid and seeks delay means now she eyes the maid. This is a metaphor here. The poet has used the figure of speech metaphor. Eyes the maid means here that she is looking over the maid. The maid is here Christabel, young lady. Maid means young lady, and here young lady is Christabel. Geraldine now looks at Christabel and seeks delay. Delay means she wants delay. That Christabel has offered her Geraldine. Christabel told Geraldine that you will be safe in my bedroom, so you please come to my castle. And with this intent, she took Geraldine to her bedroom, to her bedchamber, and now they are both about to sleep in the bed together. In this situation, Geraldine is not fully interested. She is not 100% interested to do what she is about to do, but with half interest, she goes on to sleep with her, and then she looks on Christabel and seeks delay. Delay means she wants that this thing should take time. Means I'll do it in a bit of time, or in hour of time, or maybe something, that she wants to delay it. Then suddenly, the above four lines shows Geraldine's non-interestedness or half-interestedness in what she is about to do. Here, the poet expresses the poet is exploring the sexual imagery. He is focusing upon the sexual imagery, and it is somewhat in that contemporary time. This was a total taboo. It was not a thing to be discussed in public domain, or not a thing to be done also, because it was considered to be morally wrong. Totally, it was considered morally a no-no, a big no-no. But here the poet is presenting this thing. He is giving a sexual imagery, and he is exploring the sexual side, or this Geraldine and Christabel through the scene. But here the basic intent of the poet is that he is about to show that how Geraldine will take control or will cast a spell upon Christabel. ठीक है, कि पहले तो उसने क्रिस्टबल का विश्वास जीत ही लिया है ये स्टोरी सुना करके कि मेरी किडनैपिंग हुई और ये सारी चीज़ें, है ना. एंड देन शी पोर्ट्रेज हरसेल्फ और डिपिक्ट्स हरसेल्फ इन अ वेरी mild way that I am a very victim and very bad things have happened to me. But now she has successfully entered the room of Christabel, and now she will be casting spell, magic. She'll be applying her magic over Christabel कि वो अपने वश में उसको कर लेगी. ये जो चीज़ है, नेक्स्ट द पोइट का मेन इंटेंशन है ये शो करना. इन बिटवीन दिस सेक्सुअल इमेजरी ही इज प्रेजेंटिंग. Then here so Geraldine was also not totally interested in doing this thing, but she half-heartedly agrees to this. Then as this the four lines above depicts the uh, puzzled attitude or confused scenario of Geraldine. Then suddenly, as one defied, collects herself in scorn and pride. Then suddenly means earlier Geraldine was confused about going into the bed with Christabel. But suddenly what happens? Suddenly as one defied means confronted, facing a thing, जिसको कहते हैं ना सामना करना. Then suddenly as one defied, as one confronting or facing the situation, Geraldine suddenly what? She decides to confront the situation or face the situation in a very robust way. Collects herself in scorn and pride. Collects herself means she makes herself ready to this situation, that yes, I'll have to do it. In scorn and pride, scorn means hatred and pride means feeling so pride over herself, having a feeling of so proudness. Collects herself in scorn. Scorn means hatred and pride, and lay down by the maiden's side. Then she collects herself, that is, she makes up her mind, and she rather puts herself that yes, I have to do this, and then she go to the bed and lay down by Christabel's side. And in her arms the maiden she took, ah well a day. Then she takes Christabel in her arms, she wraps her arms around Christabel, and then Geraldine says, ah well a day. Well a day means that it is a phrase used in the medieval times, and it means woe is me. Woe is me means this is my sorrow. And with low voice and doleful look these words did say. And then with a low voice she starts speaking. Geraldine she takes Christabel in her arms while laying in the bed, and then in a very low voice, and doleful look means sad look, giving a very sad expression, she utters these words. These words did say, in the touch of this bosom there worketh a spell, which is Lord of thy utterance, Christabel. Geraldine says to Christabel that in the touch of this bosom, that in that bosom means heart, in the touch of this heart there worketh a spell, means there is a spell, there is a magic infused. When you will touch my heart, when you will touch my bosom, when you will touch my heart, there is a spell working over there, which is Lord of thy utterance, and that spell will take control over your utterance, means over your speech. Thy means your, and utterance means speech. Over your speech, Christabel. It means that I am laying beside you, Christabel, and we are in such a situation. We are together in our bed, and in touching my bosom, in touching my heart, there is a spell over here, that you will come under the spell, you will come under the effect of a magic, that I will have control over your speech. Thou knowest tonight and wilt know tomorrow this mark of my shame, this seal of my sorrow. Then she tells to Christabel that while coming under this spell, I will have the total control over speech. Whatever you will say, I'll have that control. You will have no control over your speech. What I would want you to say to others, only that thing you will be able to speak to others. Thou knowest tonight, that you will know tonight and will know tomorrow. Tonight you will know, come to know, about me, and you will know tomorrow this mark of my shame, this seal of my sorrow. This spell which is there in my there was a mark over her bosom, that this mark is mark of my shame, and this is the seal of my sorrow. This is my I am very sad about it. But vainly thou warest, for this is for this is alone in thy power to declare, that all power of your speech will come under me, and you will have no power to tell to anyone what really happened with you. That I am here with you in this situation, and I am casting a spell over you, and your speech is under my control. You will not be able to tell the reality to anyone else. Rather, the story which I have cooked up and told to you, you will only be able to say that thing only to others. For this is alone in thy power to declare, means this is only thy power, means your power to declare. There is only single thing which you can declare to others, or you have the power to declare to others, is that in the dim forest thou heardest a low moaning. That in the dim forest you heard, that when you went to the forest you heard a very low moaning. Moaning means a cry, low a sound of cry. When a person cries, that sound, that when in the dim forest you heard a person crying with a low sound, that a person was crying in a low sound, you heard that sound, and foundst a bright lady surpassingly fair. And then there you found a very bright lady, means a very beautiful lady, surpassingly fair, means she was so fair. Surpassingly means her beauty, her fairness surpassed everything. It was beyond everything. Nothing can beat her fairness or her brightness. And didst bring her home with thee in love and in charity. And you bring her home. You brought that lady to home with yourself out of love and out of charity, means out of kindness. You in the forest you saw that lady who was so bright and who was so beautiful, so fair, which and her fairness and beautifulness was beyond anything, that cannot be compared with anything in this world. And then out of love you became attracted to that lady, and out of charity means you became so kind towards her, you wanted to help her, and then out of charity you brought that lady to your home, your castle, along with you, to shield her, means to protect her. You brought her to your home and your castle. Why? Because you wanted to shield her, to protect her and shelter her, to provide shelter to her from the damp air. Means damp air means the cold air, as the weather was very cold outside in the forest at the night time, at the midnight of the hour. You brought that lady to shelter her from that cold atmosphere. Only this thing is in your power, and you will be able to tell to others about me, that when in the morning the next day, when the sun will rise, and people in the castle will get awakened, and your father will also ask you that who is this lady. When you will have to give description about me, then only this thing, that you went to in the forest, you heard a person who was crying in a very low voice, and then you saw a very beautiful lady, very fair lady, and then to shelter her and to protect her from this very winter atmosphere and cold air, you brought her home out of love and out of charity. Only this thing you will be able to tell. It is in your power to tell to anyone else. Otherwise, all your speech, all your utterance will be under my control, because now you have touched my bosom. You are in the bed with me, and you have touched my bosom where there is a spell, and you have touched that spell, and this is which is the mark of my sorrow. And now you from now onwards all your speech and all your utterance will be under my control. वो सारा का सारा जो है क्रिस्टाबेल जो भी वो बात कह सकती थी, जो बात कहने की उसके पास में क्षमता थी, वो सारा कंट्रोल क्या है जेरेल्डाइन उसके ऊपर जादू कर देती है। वो एक स्पेल के अंदर अपना उसको अपने वश में ले लेती है। तो उसका जो जितना जो बोलने स्पीच की जो शक्ति है वो जेरेल्डाइन अपने वश में कर लेती है उसको, कि वो बिना उसकी रजामंदी के कुछ भी वो नहीं कह सकती। सिर्फ ये छोटी सी कहानी जो जेरेल्डाइन ने उसको अपने बारे में बताई थी, वो सिर्फ यही दूसरों को बता सकती है। वो ये रियलिटी कभी नहीं क्रिस्टाबेल बता पाएंगी, दैट व्हाट इन रियलिटी हैपन टू हर, दैट नाउ दैट जो भी उसके साथ हुआ कि उसने उस पर जादू किया है, ये वो चीज़ किसी को वो नहीं शेयर कर सकेगी। ठीक है, तो दिस इज द पोएम क्रिस्टाबेल पार्ट 1 by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. There is a summary of also of this poem, and that part we'll be doing in the next video, lecture 13. So this is it for now. Next we'll be doing in the next video.